Ladies, gentlemen, and others, welcome back to Boz Comics. I'm gonna cut right to the point here, and I'm gonna tell you that if you're not reading Chainsawman, a manga by Tatsuki Fujimoto, you're missing out. You really need to be reading Chainsawman because it's really good. It's really good. Okay, so no, seriously, it's fucking incredible. I shotgunned my way through this manga in like 2 days, like 90-something chapters. I just went bah, 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 bah. And like, holy crap. It's so good. I mean, for starters, it's called Chainsawman. That's it. Review's done. It's over. Goodbye. Well, how much more do you need to know? It's called motherfucking Chainsawman. No. All right. Let me pitch this to you. So it's it is like a shonen manga with seinen trappings. It's really weird. It's it is a manga which takes place in a world where demons are a known quantity. Demons, devils, denizens of hell, okay? Like, come in and they fuck people up, all right? They kill, they slaughter, they wreak havoc. They're bad dudes and dudettes. Otherworldly beings can be dudes and dudettes, surely. Anyway. And there's their government entities working against demons and devils, and there are private hunters as well. Well, Chainsaw Man follows a 16-year-old kid named Denji, who's currently in deep with the mob after his dad dies, and he's left with his father's debts. You know, he owes some crazy amount of yen to the Yakuza. And the way he has, when our story opens, you know, he's been doing anything and everything he can to pay that debt back. Okay, selling like his organs, including a testicle and an eyeball. Okay, to hunting demons. I think at one point the guy offers him like 25 cents to eat a cigarette, and he does it. Like, that's how desperate this poor bastard is. You know how hard up he is for cash. Both to pay his debts, but also to like survive. Okay, the manga makes it very clear at the outset that like this is a kid who, if he finds like a half-eaten slice of pizza in the dumpster that doesn't have too many maggots on it, like, it's a good fucking day. Now, Denji. Remember, demons are a known quantity in this universe. Denji has one constant companion, which is this little tiny diminutive doggo devil named Pochita, and Pochita has a chainsaw growing out of his fucking face, and he's adorable. Okay, like, I don't care if he's got the giant chainsaw, man. I would hug the shit out of that doggo. So you know, very early on in like the first chapter or two, Denji is killed. Spoilers. Oh no. And the only way for him to survive is for his little demon devil buddy. I'm gonna get demons and devils confused in this review. I think generally they're called devils, but like, just bear with me, okay? So Pochita, like, the only way for him to save Denji is to, after Denji's been killed, is to merge with Denji and literally become his heart. So his little chainsaw like pocket buddy now lives inside him, and like through their fusion, Denji acquires this ability to turn into the chainsaw devil, which is literally, he gets he develops a little ripcord coming out of his chest, and when he pulls it, he turns into a demon with chainsaws for hands and a chainsaw for a head. And it's fucking insane and metal and wonderful. And so at the outset of our story, after he's acquired these new powers, he has now become what in the parlance of this universe is called a devil man. And a devil man is like a fusion between a human and a devil. And so that catches the attention of the government, okay? And this special division of government-sanctioned devil hunters, headed up by this woman named Makima, kind of approaches him, and they're like, hey, you're gonna work for us now, or we're gonna kill you, because now you are like part devil. So normally you'd have to die, but you can come work for us. And Denji, because he is a homeless ruffian who has lived like shit like his entire life, like this is a kid who like his entire litmus test for whether or not it was a good day was like, am I still breathing? Awesome. Dope. So this woman is like, you know, we can either kill you here or you can come work for us. You'll get very limited freedom, but you'll get like a place to sleep and good food, and there's like hot women around. And Denji is immediately just the most juvenile piece of shit in the best way, and he's like, yes, sounds awesome. I am totally down for slave labor. What's up? Yes, I was already hunting demons just to get by, but now you're telling me I can wear a rad suit and I can have a place to sleep. Oh my God, I can have friends. So he signs up immediately. And that really is the setting, the table setting for Chainsawman, is this fucking, you know, city living castaway who's never really had a family, never really had friends, and has only ever known hardship, thrust into this situation where he is in constant danger, but the rewards means so much more because he was already in such grave danger all the time. So it's kind of like him, like, really the book is about like a rough and tumble boy transitioning into manhood, you know? And there are some crazy fights in this manga. Like the art, from Fujimoto is maybe not the best in terms of technical skill. It's certainly not badly drawn, but it's nothing that's gonna like make your eyes pop out of your head, you know, just in terms of like the anatomy, right? Some of the rendering of the characters is pretty simplistic. But when things get bloody and brawly and shit just goes bananas, that's when Fujimoto seems to put like hardcore work into his pen and stuff, and it just really comes through. It's some of the craziest, most violent but glorious bloodshed I've ever seen. This is like Doom, the manga, really. So that's really cool. If you like action, Chainsawman has that in spades. If you like the funny, Chainsawman also has that in spades. Usually in a sort of subversion of what you might otherwise expect. Perfect example. A lot of it comes from Denji being such an atypical shonen protagonist. Okay. Because he's grown up hard and he's never really had a normal life. So he looks at things in a pretty fucked up way. Also, he's 16. So perfect example. One of his earliest encounters with a demon, like on the job, once he's signed on with the government. You know, he's with another character named Aki, who kind of starts off as like a rival character. You know, they encounter this demon, and Denji is really resistant to kill him. And when Aki asks about like why are you being so like reticent to kill this fucking demon, like it's a trash demon, it's our job to do this, and Denji goes off on this really impassioned kind of bit about how I'll be friends with anyone who will take me because I've never really had any friends. And Aki is framed in this way where it's like, oh shit, that just hit me, right? And he like kind of just fucks off and leaves the room. And then as soon as he leaves the room, because you're thinking like, oh shit, maybe we just learned like a bit of poignant shit about Denji. As soon as Aki leaves the room, Denji's like, oh, thank God. If I'd had to kill that demon right then and there, it would have splashed blood all over these pornos that I like spied in the corner over here. And like me describing it, it probably doesn't sound too funny, but when you're reading it, it's just, that's how you subvert expectations, okay? In a way that is pretty laugh out loud funny. But transitioning from that, you know, I would say the biggest drive for you to read Chainsawman is the character development. Because, yeah, like, especially in the beginning, there's a lot of that silliness, right? Like, oh, you think this is like your typical manga protag, right? Like, I seem like an irreverent piece of shit, but actually I'm a good guy at heart. No, I don't think it's that Denji's a good guy at heart. I think, he's pretty simple and he's really gruff and grotesque, but you're watching him learn. You're watching him become a better person, and you see him form relationships with the people around you, and it's all heightened and gonzo and bonkers, right? And it's because every personality around him is an extreme personality, but they're all such a joy to experience. And then all these great relationship dynamics are interspersed throughout these crazy demon fights with a main character who has chainsaws for arms. I mean, come on. And then you learn. So the way all the bad guy designs, all the devil designs in Chainsawman are fucking incredible too. The whole conceit of how devils work in Chainsawman is that there seems to be like a devil for every malevolent force in existence, and the more people know about and fear this thing, the more powerful that devil is. So there are things like, of course, we have a chainsaw devil. We have a katana devil at one point. Okay, so some of those devils are more concrete concepts, but then you have more esoteric shit. Like, there's a cosmos devil. I won't say anything about it because it would be a big spoiler. But like, there's a cosmos devil. There's a curse devil. Okay, so I just love that idea that we can have these creatures that are more representative of like physical objects that everybody knows and is terrified of, to some degree. But we can also have these really abstract, like philosophical ideas represented in demon form. I dig that too. I think that's really cool. So let's see. So we talked about the different kinds of devils. We talked about how like the relationships are great. Denji is a fun character, not just because of how like gruff and crass and funny he can be, not just because it's fun to watch his growth, but also just like the simplicity with which he operates, even as he grows and changes, and he really does, especially by the end. I don't know. It's just cool. You can really anticipate, because he's so simple, he comes across as a very well-written character. And I know that might sound a little strange, because you would expect like a well-written character, like you would be like, well, I want a lot of subtlety and nuance. And I mean, maybe there's some of that to Denji. You can, when you understand how he grew up, you can kind of make a lot of inferences about his character. But the whole thing about Denji is that he's not complicated, right? Even when he probably should be. Like, he acknowledges it a few times that like he should have more complicated views on some things. But his wants and needs are very direct, because for so long he's had so little. So his perspective on everything is just completely fucked. But because of how simplistic his worldview is and how his goals are generally like his goal for the first story arc, okay, is to be able to touch some boobs. Okay, at another point his sole goal is like, I want to kiss. And again, this sounds like it would be really kind of gross, like, anime trope shit, like, oh, sexualization, oh, ecchi porn crap. It's not. I thought it was gonna go that way, and I was like, cringe. Cause like, I'm not a prude, right? But like, I see so much of that stuff. I like more, and Chainsawman has more. They have those really simplistic juvenile aspects, but they acknowledge them for what they are, and they're there for a reason. They're used to explore Denji's character and aspects of the human condition. But because of how simplistic Denji is, like, he becomes incredibly believable, because you can kind of predict like how he will act, and you understand him like very thoroughly by the end of things, because you can really put yourself inside his head and how it was that our man could like get here, right? The last thing I'll say about Chainsaw Man, though, talking about, you know, the aspects of it that are more like traditional, like shonen manga, right? It's like really, friendship, part of the cards, like big battles, like fucking all these power-ups and people saying the names of attacks and like, you know, devils representing different like aspects and people with chainsaws for hands and a dude with a katana like in his mouth, like, you know, all that shit. Chainsaw Man in like its last third especially will fuck you hard. Chainsaw Man in its last third or so becomes a very different manga. And I don't mean that as a negative. I really cannot say anything. I will say this because I really don't want to spoil it. If you know, you know. No one is safe in Chainsaw Man. There are consequences to things, and it will go places that you just will not expect. When this was coming out, this started coming out a few years ago. In Shonen Jump in Japan, which is a manga. You know, shonen is a type of manga typically geared towards young boys. And a lot of people were shocked that something so edgy and violent and grotesque and brutal and sexual could make its way into Shonen Jump. Now, maybe it says something about the trends of young people in Japan, especially young boys. I don't know anything about that culture, so I can't really speak to it, but I can imagine because we're seeing a large shift in our young male culture here too in the States. But I know that it made waves immediately because it was like, oh shit, what is this? And so like it carries through on that, like straight through to the end. Chainsaw Man will fuck you hard, but it is worth every second of it. And this manga has a definitive ending. It's like 96 chapters or something. The story ends with an asterisk. See, Chainsaw Man ends. You know, we followed Denji's story to a really good place, and if it were to end there, like there's a few threads left unresolved or left open, I should say. That sounds better. But Chainsaw Man 2 has already been announced. So there is another manga coming. It's going to be in Shonen Jump Plus, which is Shonen Jump's online platform. And oh my god, I cannot wait. I don't think I've ever been this like awash in anticipation for a manga. I've had this for like comic books, but I've never been so like chomping at the bit for a manga. I am so excited. I am so ready for this. Let's fucking go. So if you like over-the-top crazy action, if you like characters that seem incredibly simplistic, but like through that simplicity is born understanding, if you like seeing people form a family dynamic, if you like seeing characters that have to overcome incredible amounts of tragedy and despair, if you like seeing, you know, just insane creature designs, if you like the idea of a foul-mouthed kid with chainsaws for hands being your protagonist, Chainsaw Man is everything. Also, Denji and Power are the real power couple. You'll understand if you read the book. Not in a sex way, though. You'll understand if you read the book. Anyway, go read Chainsaw Man. I love you. I'll see you on Tuesday, which is tomorrow. I'm really bad at YouTube. Like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and if you want to support more of what I do here, you can make a one-time $3 donation down in the description below. Wow, I told you guys I'm really bad at YouTube. I'm gonna shut up now. Okay, thanks, bye.